let's get into it. This is on a Saturday morning early. I was sleeping and I end up waking up. So God wanted me to talk about this download that I had. And what it was a real detailed dream, really detailed dream that I'm going to talk about. And since this man wants to stay up in my damn energy, then I'm going to talk about his ass. I'm going to expose his ass for what it really is. And it's this man is married. This man is married. And he has a Jezebel spirit. Men can also have a Jezebel spirit also. And what it is that what God was showing me is that this man really disrespect his wife. He is married. He's not a single man. He's married, and he really disrespect his wife out in public. Behind closed door, it's a different story. He loved bombing on her and all that stuff, but when out in public, he's disrespecting this woman. When he see other women, he is all up in their face. He's trying to, get their attention. He's videotaping these women. When he see them, he's videotaping, their ass and all that stuff is what he be doing. And he be doing it in front of his wife to try to make her mad or try to make her jealous or whatever, or make her go into rage. And most of the time, she keeps her composure, when he's doing that, and it's pretty much she allowed him to do this, this crazy shit. Because all jokes aside, if it was my damn husband, I would have jacked his ass up by now. True, trust and believe. I would have jacked his ass up. But anyway, let's get back to the dream, because this man really, he really pissed me off in the dream, by being all up in my energy. I wanted to jack his ass up in the damn dream myself, for his wife. She don't want to do it. I was going to do it in the dream, but God told me to step back, and just, finish the dream and then, and talk about it and expose the truth about it. So anyway, this man, and it was these other three guys that was beside these three women. And I feel like these was three witches that this married man was working with, against his wife or whatever, trying to do hexes and curse and spells like that, like this coven group or whatever, to try to, with his wife, and try to do things towards his wife. And one of the women, when the man got out, he even parked his car beside these women car. He didn't, there was a lot of parking spaces out in the mall. It was like a mall that I seen in the dream. And it had like, one of those outlet malls that it has like all the different shops and stuff like that. It also has like, restaurants in it. So this one was like a noodle, like a, one of those Chinese or Japanese type restaurant. That's what that was. Because inside, and this was like, y'all, and it was like in the dream where they were out, it was like 2-3 in the morning is what I'm getting. It was 2-3 in the morning that this couple was out. This man and his wife was out, I guess, to go get something to eat. I'm not sure where they had come from, why they was out that late or whatever. And so these three women, they had already was inside, they had already ate, and they was bringing that, they was about to leave. But then when they saw the guy that they knew, and that's when they decided not to leave. So the driver, this girl had long hair, black long hair, kind of brown skin, kind of skinny or whatever. She didn't have much ass, and much breasts or whatever. So she more like petite or whatever. And so she gonna get out the car, and she was kind of tall too. She wasn't no short woman. She was probably maybe about 5'7", maybe around that. Or no more than 5'7". And so she ended up walking to this married man, and she saw the wife was sitting in the car because they was trying to go inside to get something to eat. So the man wasn't really interested in getting nothing to eat. He was just interested in trying to get attention from these 3 women or whatever. So the other 3 guys picked up on it. So they picked up on how he trying to get attention from women and trying to make his wife mad. He got a wife in the car. He trying to make her mad and all this stuff, right? And so he ended up, so the guys told the girl, was like, hey, y'all. He said, this man right here is being disrespectful to his wife, and he trying to get y'all attention. So the 3 girls laughed, they was like, yeah, we know, like that. And so, like I said, the driver got out the car, and first the man wanted to lay on the hood of the car and start looking at these women, start talking to these women, start flirting with these women and all this stuff in front of his wife. But he didn't lay, he decided not to lay on the car. So then, next thing I know, he's going to, so one of the other women that got out the passenger side, she ended up laying on the hood. And this man ended up snapping a picture of her ass, and videotaping his ass, her ass, and then, laughing, just laughing about it. He's sitting there laughing about it, and making flirty, gestures to the women and stuff like that. They all were laughing and stuff. So it seemed like to me that this man knew these 3 women, and he knew that these 3 women was going to be at a certain location. That's why he brought his wife out at 2-3 in the morning to go get something to eat or whatever, because he was trying to make her jealous, make her go into rage and stuff like that. I think he was trying to prove a point. He's been talking to these women. And the way that I got in the dream, that he knew all 3 of these witches or these women. And he was sitting there, and they knew that there was like a setup. They were trying to set this woman up, his wife up. And the 3 guys was trying to holler at these women. But these women was not paying these 3 guys no attention. They was all into this man, and I didn't see why they was all into this man, because he's not all that in a bag of chips. And you know how much a damn bag of chips costs, right? So he wasn't all that. But he tried to make himself to be a ladies' man, and try to make himself be important and stuff like that. This man was, he was really disrespect his wife to the utmost. In the dream. And I was getting madder and madder in the dream, because and God had me to dream it all the way through, all the way through the dream, and I was like, and I was talking to God the whole time, like, oh God, I don't want to go through this rest of this dream. I said, because this man don't piss me off in this dream, but God told me to keep on going, keep dreaming it out. So as I did that, and then next thing I know, he gonna sit there, and so they went inside the restaurant, and there was a older gentleman was sitting out there. I don't know if he was homeless or not, or he was blind or not, I'm not sure, but he was sitting there on a little bucket, and the man ended up dropping like some corn or excuse me, bless me, corn or whatever, allergy season, sorry, corn or whatever that was blessing, with that. And as they walk into the building, and next thing I know, when the woman got in there, the wife got in there to get some food, they told her that, they had closed or whatever, they stopped serving food. So then that's when she walked out. So next thing you know, I don't know what happened to the conversation, but the wife and the man end up getting into it in the parking lot, in front of these, 3 women or whatever. And he got very disrespectful to the wife. as it was going back to the car or whatever, saying something. And so then that's when she ended up, jacking his ass up. She did. She jacked him up in the dream, grabbed him by his damn throat, and she was talking, telling him how he disrespect her, that she's not going to allow him to disrespect her anymore or whatever. And he was like, sort of like shocked at the same time, but was like, had this little sneaky grin on his face too. He wasn't saying anything, but he just had a sneaky grin on his face. And so I guess he wanted to keep his composure, in front of the women. Like he was more of a gentleman, that he was not going to do anything back to his wife or whatever. But, so God did not, he didn't, in the dream, I didn't see where he beat up on his wife or nothing like that. I don't see nothing like that going on. The only thing I see is that he's just being an a-hole, of a husband, to this woman. And so the women saw it. So the women, I guess these women probably was used to this man talking, gangster type shit to him, like he the man, of the household. He runs the household. He controlled this, he controlled that. And they saw it in another light, that he doesn't control anything, that his wife controls the household and controlled his ass also at the same time. And that's how I saw it in the dream and the message. And so the three women saw that too. So when they saw a different side of the man, so then that's when they were like losing disrespect for him in the dream. They were using some type of disrespect for him. And next thing I know, they started talking to the wife, about that, that they were sorry that, they was disrespecting her, and they allowed her husband to, because they feel disrespected too by him, pretty much too, because, they were saying that how can a man disrespect his wife and then look at another woman. And then the other girls were saying that, suppose that they had got with him, that he probably would do the same thing to them too, start disrespecting them too when he can't get his way. He would start so that's how they was looking at it too. So they was putting their self in his wife's shoes, and having some type of sympathy for her and be like, and they were saying they were sorry and stuff like that for even, working with this man and, and trying to disrespect her. And so then, like I said, they end up getting into it. So then they end up, so they end up getting into it. So next thing I know, the wife had went inside, I guess, to use the bathroom or something. And next thing you know, her car was gone. Her car was gone, y'all. The man had took her car. Her husband had ended up taking the wife's car, drove off and left the wife there, at this place. So she's like looking at her car, wonder why her car's not there and stuff like that. So she ended up trying to call him on the phone. He tried to ignore her phone calls or whatever. So she ended up had to take like an Uber or a Lyft or whatever, one of those, share rider type thing home. So she ended up taking it home, found him there. And it was like he had took her keys. So, her keys were her house keys and car keys, all that was on the same ring. And it's like, so when the woman got to the house, and the house was more like a townhouse. This was like a townhouse type setting. It wasn't really like a single home that I saw. It was more like either like a condo or like a townhouse type setting. And so she ended up knocking on the door or whatever to her own house, y'all. End up knocking on the door. The man would not open up the door and stuff like that. So that's when I guess some of the neighbor or the women or whatever, because it got so loud, with her banging on the door, yelling and all this stuff at him, that it got really loud. And that's when she, so then one of the neighbor's wife or whatever, girlfriend, whatever, came out and asked him what's wrong. And she was telling him about that, her and her husband had a disagreement because he was disrespecting her in front of women and stuff like that. And so, and then he took her keys and won't let her in the house or whatever. And so then that's when, and that's when she started telling the neighbor and stuff like that about the marriage, how she met this man, and the reason why this man is trying to seek revenge on her and stuff like that. She was going into, in more details. I'm not going to go into more. I'm not going to embarrass this man like this, so, because there's a lot more details of what she said about in the marriage, about to this man, and the revenge that this man is trying to get on her, by trying to flirt with other women, in front of her face and disrespecting her, at the utmost disrespect that any man could do to a wife or girlfriend, And so that's when the neighbor was talking to her, and she was like, well, when a man disrespect you like that, she said that he don't have no respect for himself. He has low self-esteem by the seven soul, and lack of self-confidence in himself, and said that he has some unhealed errors in his life, and so she was like telling his wife that what she could see, what this man been doing to her all these years. And she started agreeing with the woman and stuff like that, about it, and and putting plans and stuff like that into action of what she's going to do next, when it comes to her and this man in this marriage. And so, and let me see, I don't know if there were kids, if they had kids or not in this dream. I'm trying to remember if they had kids or not in the dream. But next thing, so then she ended up getting it, she ended up finally called the police or whatever, and she ended up, getting inside her home or whatever. And they still got, then they even got into an even more bigger argument inside the home, about, what this man is doing. So she told him that, if he wanted to be single, then he should have told her from the beginning, and not marry her if he wanted to continue to be a single man, and mess with other women and different things like that. And then she started telling him about, a marriage between two people, is, when you give your vows and stuff like that in front of God, and if he was not going to be serious about their relationship and about her, then why did he marry her? And so God was showing me that he married her because of her money. This woman had money. This woman had more money than this man had. And that's the reason why he ended up marrying her, because this man is chasing women that has money. He's not going after women that is broke. He's going after women that has money, that can, wine and dine him and spend money on him, is what this man is going after. And that's who he searched for. He searched for women that has some type of money, status, in their life. He don't mess with no broke women at all, y'all, in this dream. Because one of the women that had she had either a Jaguar or either like an Infinity type car, or you know, that's what the type of car that I saw, something like that, you know, type car. You know, it wasn't, you know, no cheap brand cars type talk about. You know, it was, you know, it was like but it was like an older type model type car though. The car wasn't brand new that the girl was driving. You know, and like I said, these women could be like in their late 20s, early 30s to late 30s only. No, they're not even over 40 or anything like that. That's the age that these women are. And it could be a little bit younger too, in their early 20s. You never know. Because, you know, this man just loves attention. He has a Jezebel spirit that God was showing that he has on him. And he loves the attention of women. If this man can't have the attention of women, it does something to his personality and to his character as a man. It's like he has to validate himself by meeting all these different women and flirting with all these different women and videotaping all these different women and stuff like that to prove his status in this world is what I'm seeing, you know, from what God was showing me to dream about this man. You know, since he want to be all up in my energy, I'm going to expose him. Sorry. You know, stay out of my damn energy. I told people to stay out of my energy if you don't want to get exposed, you know, for who you really are as a person. And so, you know, the wife was like kind of light brown skin, you know, on the light side. You know, she wear long hair. She was an average type woman that you would say, you know, but she had curves all in the right places. So, you know, she had more booty, you know, and more breast than these women, these three girls put together that he was trying to mess with, you know, that didn't have ass and stuff like that, didn't have much breasts or whatever. So, you know, they just was really thin and petite type women. And so with that going on, at the end of the dream, you know, God was just showing me that this man has a really mama and daddy issues. He also have a lot of childhood traumas that he needs to really get deep healing for. This man really do need to go through some type of therapy and counseling too. Because if he has to sit there and validate himself in other women and disrespect his wife that he's with, you know, and try to make her be seen in a different light, you know, in a different view in the public eye. And then when he gets behind closed door, he's all love bombing her, you know, saying she's the best wife and different things like that. But then out in public, he doesn't recognize this woman out in public. You know, he want to disrespect her to other women. He want to pretend to be single, you know, out in public instead of acting like a married man should be in public. So this man has two sides to him that, you know, God was showing me. He had a good and a bad side to him. And instead of he going through his proper healing, you know, to be a better man, for just generally be a better man, you know, he's far from being a husband. He doesn't have the husband qualities. He doesn't have a husband attributes. You know, what God has an image of what a husband's supposed to be and how a husband's supposed to treat a wife. Because a husband does not supposed to treat his wife that God has gave him and helpmate, and he's the one that choose this woman, y'all. Because in the dream, that God was showing me that this woman did not choose this man. This man seeked after this woman because he saw that she had some money. So he seeked after her. This woman did not seek after him. She didn't even know that he existed, you know, until he came into her life, you know. So that's what God was showing me, the details also of the relationship, how they met and different things like that, and how it became about. This man is all about getting with women that has money and taking women's money, and taking advantage of these women, flirting with these women and telling them what they want to hear. He looks for those naive and gullible women, those desperate women that just want a man and don't care if the man is married or not. These are the women that he looks for, and that's the ones that he pride on. And like I said, this man has a Jezebel spirit, and it's a Jezebel spirit in this man that is making him do this, because like I said, Jezebel spirit can be in both man and female. There's no gender preference when it comes to that spirit. And the wife been, she been really, in the dream, God was showing me that the wife had been so humble, and kind to this man, and trying to work with this man because she knew that this man has a Jezebel spirit. She can tell it. She had it, that he had it for years, that she can tell it. And I guess that she was trying to hope that he would change his ways, change his evil ways and change how he viewed things when it comes, and honor the marriage like he's supposed to. But she saw that there's no change in this man. He doesn't want to get rid of that Jezebel spirit. He wants to be the man, the player in all these women's lives, that he has met and all this stuff. He wants to be the man, wants to be the player, and deep down inside, he just a little boy screaming out for help, that he needs help. He needs therapy. He needs to talk to someone about, his mama and daddy issues. He needs to talk to someone about, some things could have happened to him as a child, that he has kept bottled up inside of him, and that he refused to go, and talk about the situation. He think that he can self, medicate himself. He think that he can, talk to himself and try to heal his own self. And what he's doing is he's making it worse, by being in denial, not taking accountability of his actions, and taking responsibility of the action of what he does to cause the drama, in the marriage, and bringing in a lot of third parties that I saw. This man brings in a lot of third parties in his marriage, and really tried to push the wife buttons, to make her go into rage. Like I said, this man is trying to humiliate this wife, in public, trying to embarrass her in public. He want her to lose her composure, her character in public, so that way he can have validation or justify his action towards her. So that's what he's doing. He's trying to provoke this woman to act unseemly in public, so that way he think that the public is going to view this woman as, as this man has talked about her really bad. He has really talked about this woman to friends, to family, to strangers, to women he meet. He's been talking about this woman, his wife, very bad. And so, to me, all jokes aside, I'm just going to have my viewpoint now in the dream. If this man really don't want to be with this wife, then why don't he leave her? Has any of these women that he's been putting into third parties, have you ever asked this man how come he hasn't left his wife? If he don't care about her like he said he don't, and keep disrespecting her, then that's what the women should be doing, asking him like, well, why don't you divorce your wife and move on? See, the thing is, he don't want to divorce his wife. He wants to have his cake and eat it too. He wants her to conform to his Jezebel ways, his player ways, his third party ways is what he wants this woman to conform, the wife, and she refused to conform to that. And that's why he's acting like a child and being very childish in the dream and very immature as a man. He's not even a man in this dream at all. From what I got out of the dream and what the message that God was giving me, this is my viewpoint. He's not a man at all. That you're going to sit down and treat your wife like that, and for so many years, and he think that, that she's not going to do anything. She's going, not so, because, his wife too in the dream was a very attractive woman. So there's men looking at his wife also. And see, he ain't gonna like it when the men start looking at his wife and start flirting with his wife. He's not gonna know how to take it. He's not gonna know how to take that, because he's so used to, men not, his wife. Okay, let's put it this way: he's not used to his wife entertaining men. Because his wife is trying to, respect him as a husband. There have been men that's been flirting with his wife also, but she tried to play it off, and brush it off to not disrespect him. So now the shoe is on the other foot now. Tables has turned. So now the wife now is going to start now. And I saw it in the dream too, where the three guys, and then go back to those three guys. Those three guys then start talking to the wife. You remember when I told you, this is part 2 of, you remember the first dream that I had? I told you about this gentleman's club, that this man, and that's what it is. This man has been taking his wife to a gentleman's club and sharing his wife with other men in this club. Seriously, because that's how the dream, because those 3 other guys was in that club. I remember the faces that was in this secret society club or whatever. Those 3 guys was there, because I saw their faces in there too. And those 3 guys was the one that kept telling his wife, about how disrespectful her husband was to have her out there, being shared by all these different men in this gentleman club that he's in. This man he's in a club. He's in a secret society coven type club, and I told you about the room and stuff like that. So that's what that is. And that's where those 3, because I kept wondering why those 3 men is there and then those women. So all those, those women too that he met, they're all in that club too. Those women also being passed around and shared by different men in the club too. Those 3 witches, or what you call those? Yeah, those 3. Yeah, and I don't. So maybe they are witches. So those are the 3 witches. They be passed around also by these men in this gentleman's club. The secret society type club. And they don't have they don't been with so many men too. They don't been with this man also. So that's why it was such an easy interaction. And when the man met them, so it lets me know that it was like a setup. It was like a setup environment to get the wife. This man just wanted to get the wife out so that way she can act unseemly into public, and then everybody will actually witness it, and then he would try to play the victim. So this man is like trying to play the victim now, and said that, that his wife is the bad one when really he is the bad guy. He is a bad husband. I wouldn't even classify him as a damn husband at all. In the dream, he's not a damn husband at all. If he's going to treat his wife like that, he's half a man or less than a man. Like I told you, you come into my energy, I'm going to expose you. And I'm going to speak the truth, and I'm going to tell it like it is, how God gave it to me in a dream. So stay out of my energy if you don't want me to talk about your ass, because I will. And and it was really bad, you know. I mean, the utmost worst, you know, of a marriage that you could get to the bottom low, you know, of it. And it's like I said, in the dream, that's what it is. It's part 2 of this dream about the gentleman club. Because remember I told you that the man he left his wife there, and then he met some other, like, friends or whatever, or ex-girlfriend or something, and she was moving in a U-Haul truck, and he ended up going with her in the U-Haul truck. Okay, well, this is a part 2, and I think this is part 2 of the dream that God had gave me a couple of days ago, that I had posted about it. And but yeah, that, like I said, this man is a bad person, and the women that is thinking this man is all this, they need to run. They need to take wise counsel, and they need to stay away from this man. They need to run away from this man. They need to disconnect from this man, because if he's treating his wife this way, don't you know that he's going to start treating them the same way and pimping them off to the men in a gentleman's club? So has these women ever thought about that? You know, he prides on the young and gullible and naive type women is what he's prying on and what he seeks for. And, you know, you thinking that you hurting the wife, but actually these women is hurting themselves. You know, these women are unhealed too, and they looking for a daddy, you know, to take their place when they had daddy issues. And so they're always looking for a man, you know, to be the daddy in their life that they never had. You know, so that's what I'm getting out of it too. You know, it goes both ways. Because why would these men even decide to, these men too. Oh God, so there's men that he's messing with men also. Oh Jesus. That's not good. So these women, I'm going to tell you like this from a professional nursing standpoint. You better take wise counsel and heed. You know, leave this man alone, because he's doing reckless stuff with his life. If he's messing with men also and women, don't you know there's a lot of disease and different things are being spread? You know, a lot of unprotected sex. You need to leave this man alone. This man is unhealed. He's going to disrespect you like he's disrespecting his wife. He's only going to tell you what you want to hear, you know, and that's what he's good at. He's good at telling you what you want to hear to get you into his web, you know, to get you into, so that way he can use and abuse you also and take advantage of you. Because like I said, this man goes after women that has money. He don't mess with broke women. He mess with women that has some type of money. You know, he will go after. And then he would try to take advantage of them. He will marry them and then take advantage of them and disrespect them the whole time. Because this man, like I said, he's not allowing this Jezebel spirit, this entity, this demon, he's not allowing it to leave. And he don't want to give it up either, because he don't got so used to it. And the way that God was showing me in the dream, that this man got so used to having this Jezebel spirit. Now, you know, in the Bible, when they talk about when you have one spirit, there is 7 other spirits. So that means this man has 7 other spirits that is in his body, that is controlling his body. He's no longer a human. He's no longer thinking as a human, as a man, as a husband generally. These are the spirits that is controlling this man now. So whoever that gets with this man, don't you know that those spirits can transfer to you? And then next thing you know, now you're acting like a, loose as a goose. That's how I was going to put it to the women. You can be loose as a goose out there, So you have to be careful when you entwining your energy and your soul with someone. Just because they look good on the outside, they're all messed up in the inside. And sometimes people don't care. When they're possessed by a demon or entity, they do not care, because that demon entity is actually controlling their mind, their energy, their body, embodying into their body and controlling it. And so that's what you really have to be prayed up and be discerning of the spirit. You have to watch out for the signs and symptoms of different characteristics of different spirits and different things like that that comes around people. You need to also look at their motive, why they're doing this. What is the motive behind all of this? Is that going to be a good outcome or a bad outcome? And what was the reason behind all this? See, and it goes both ways. Women can mistreat men also the same way. And maybe that's what happened to this man. Maybe he got mistreated by, women in his life, mama issues also. And then when he was dating women, he got mistreated by women too. So then I guess he decided now he wants to mistreat, women that comes into his life. This man is not committed to nobody and to no one but himself and those demons, those 7 demons that he got embodied in his body and his energy, that he needs some type of deliverance. He needs to go get some exorcism done, and get some type of deliverance. And then after that, he needs to do a spiritual bath, a spiritual cleansing. And then he needs to go to a therapist afterwards and really sit there and really dive in and talk deep about, his underlying surface of childhood trauma when it comes to his mother issues and his daddy's issues. And then relationship that he got into that came along that he really needs to work on, because it's not going to get any better. I mean, he can divorce his wife, or the wife can divorce him today or tomorrow, and this man's still going to have those spirits if he is not going to seek professional help. Get some spiritual cleansing, get some exorcism done, talk to his priest or talk to his pastor, bishop, whatever, somebody spiritual counseling, not a spiritual root worker. He don't need to be going to them and talking to them. He needs to actually talk to someone that has some type of authority in God, that can cast out demons, and to really heal this man, heart, his mind, his soul, so that way he can be a better person, a better man, a better husband, a better father, or whatever. I did see some kids. So he does have some kids though. But God didn't really gave me revelation on, to focus on the kids, but they did have some kids or something like that too. It was more about this man, this husband, this father, this brother, this uncle, whatever you want to call it, resonate with, that this is his personality, his character. And God is really exposing it now, because it looks like to me this man is really crying out for help. And he's doing it by a way of the wrong way, by trying to go to get attention from other women. Instead of he looking deep inside himself and get in touch with his higher self, do some praying, repenting for his sins, asking God for forgiveness and different things, and also take accountability and responsibility of his actions, of what he does, because he does a lot of provoking, that I saw in the marriage that he did to this woman, that he was the one that caused the drama. He's the one that started up. He's the one that provoked his wife, to try to make her come unseemly. And a lot of it's hurt and resentment and revenge that this man is trying to get. His wife really didn't do anything to this man. All of this stems from this man's past. All of it comes from his past. It's being surfaced. And he don't know how to deal with his past. And, he don't know how to deal with it. He don't know how to start with it. So the only thing he know how to do that's so familiar with him is to flirt and get attention from other women. Basically, he put his wife into a lot of third-party situations. And he thought that she was going to conform and agree to it, and she didn't. So it really made him even more madder and made him even more harder to go out and do a lot of disrespectful things, to her out in public. This man has talked about his wife really bad to women. And a lot of things that this man has said is not true. Because like I said, those 3 girls, when they actually finally got a chance to talk to the wife, the wife started opening up and telling them a lot of things that she was going through with this man in the marriage. So now these 3 witches, or these 3 women or whatever, now they see this man in a different light. Because now they see that it's 2 sides to the story, and then they saw also how this man was disrespecting her, and there are women themselves. So when you see another woman being disrespected, and you a woman yourself, don't you know that if you got with this man, he would disrespect you the same way. He will pimp you off to his gentlemen in the club also the same way. He has, like I say, he has no respect for women at this point because of all the spirits that is dwelling inside this man. And he's trying to hide it. He's trying to hide behind these spirits. But there's an inner child that is really calling out for help. And I could see it in a dream in this man's eyes that he's really calling out for help. Because this man messes with men and women. And that's not good. When he's having unprotected sex a lot of times with men and women. And then he goes to his wife. So a lot of things, and I don't see that his wife I didn't see where he had any type of disease. God didn't show me none of that. So I don't know about that or not, if there was anything, but I did see where he was having unprotected sex a lot. He also be posting pictures of himself online, of his private parts and different things online, just to draw the women in. He be conversating with them, on social media sites and chat groups and, dating sites and different things like that this man is on. And so, like I said, these 3 women or these 3 witches thought that, they got this man under a spell. Oh, God just showed me that too. Okay, so this man is under a witchcraft spell. Oh, so these 3 women don't put a witchcraft. Okay, so now it makes sense, y'all. When the 3 guys was telling the women that this man was attracted to them, and was looking at them, and they all laughed and said, "We know." So yeah, so these women don't put a witchcraft, a hex, a spell on this man. So that's why this man is acting unseemly and disrespecting his wife, because these women don't put a hex or witchcraft on him to make him be like loose, make him be a player, to make him disrespect his wife in public, so that way she can go out. Oh, so that's what it was. It was a setup. So actually, these 3 women did this. It was a setup. It was a setup for the wife, and it was a setup for the husband also. So what the 3 witches or these 3 women wanted to see, they wanted to see how this man interact with his wife. And when they saw that, and I guess they wanted to see if the spell was working too. So when they saw that how this man came to them and started disrespecting the wife, taking pictures of them and all this stuff like that, and then they seen how their wife react, to it. So they were also studying the wife too to see what type of reaction that the wife was going to do in the dream. So now it's making sense now also too with that. God is giving me more insight and revelation on it, interpretation of the dream. And by that's going on, because I was wondering, because this man, all of a sudden this man was start drawn to this women. In the dream, I saw him just got out of the car and start walking towards these women. And don't you know, that remind me of, you remember that it remind me of another dream that I had. If you go back and look at the Divine Angelic Chosen One channel, and also Spiritual Earth Angel 623, I talk about this man. I talk about this man and different things like that too. And this coven group and this covering group, the 3 witches, I talk about a lot of that stuff. And the veil has been torn, all of that I talk about a lot. And national disasters, it's going to start happening, unexpectedly, now, which has been happening. And if you look at the news stuff, you have seen a lot of national disaster, like bridge collapsing, people getting into a lot of accidents, the weather, different weather conditions, different things going on. And I had also talked about that it's going to be a great shift, coming April the 8th, a great shift. And I'm not going to go into more details about the great shift, because God don't want me to have it, because there's a lot of people that, always relying on my videos, relying on me to what I'm going to talk about next, or what I dreamed about, and all the stuff like that was going on, around. So he doesn't want me to get into detail of the great shift. Not yet. I'll probably talk about it later, but right now it's going to be a great shift, and it's going to be in the spiritual realm and on the earthly realm. And God is going to be in control of this great shift. So I'm just going to let you know that. He's going to be in control of it in the spiritual realm and on the earthly realm. So there's going to be a lot of judgment, a lot of karma, a lot of God's wrath is going to come upon this world, on this earth. Like I said, unforeseen events, unfortunate events going to be happening all around the world. Also in families, marriages, businesses, people's personal lives going to be shaken up. Foundation, the faulty foundation. It's going to be a lot of things going on that he was showing me. That's just a little bit of what I'm talking about when it comes to the great shift, because it's getting into the revelation. I talk about the 7 seals, and how the 777 type number came out, for transformation and change. And it is going to be a great transformation change. There's where the Antichrist is going to come into play also, with that, because there's, I talk about the 71. We had 71, a total eclipse, so far, and we still have some more major eclipse coming, in this lifetime, coming in the upcoming years, and then there was blood moon. I talk about there was blood moon cycles, back to back. We had some of those too, back to back blood moons, also, and how that they need to kill like an heifer, to cleanse the temple, to cleanse the temple. So I talk about that also. That's, all of that stuff like that is in the book of Revelation, to talk about the 7 seals and different things like that, that is coming. So, and that was, I did a lot of posting, with that, I didn't go into video, but I did a lot of posting with that, talking about that, what's is going to come, in the end times, what is going to come in the future, and even in the present, that things are happening also in the present now. With these, and like I said, it's going to be major national events going on, and major times, major events that needs to be taking place in the prophecy, that needs to take place. It will. I talk about the 7 kings from 7 regions that's going to be coming together to fight, and just, and war is going to be coming also. I think that's about it, that God wants me to talk about, for right now. But yeah, and like I said, get back to this man. His inner child is really calling out for help. And by him hook up with these 3 witches, it doesn't make it any better, because they're hindering his growth. They're hindering his spirituality. They're hindering a lot of things in this man's life, to where this man is stuck. And if he doesn't wake up and realize, that he's been under that hex or a curse, so that way he can seek some type of attention, spiritual attention and natural earthly attention also, and break away from, the covenant, the witches or whatever. He needs to break away from it. He needs to set boundaries, with people, and because he don't know how to set boundaries, because like I said, he got 7 spirits that's dwelling inside his body right now that has taken over. So this man don't know where he's coming or going. Only thing he know from day to day, that he needs to seek attention from women. That's basically what it is. He needs to seek attention from women and disrespect his wife at the same time. Until next time, peace, love, joy, and happiness.